So yeah, people want to know.
Yeah, what do they want to know?
They all want to know your top 5 TV shows of all time.
Top 5 of all
Top
time?
5. Don't be an imbecile. Start with 5, go to 1.
Oh, you want them in order from like best?
Yeah, no, worst to best.
Oh, shit.
What you think is worst to best.
Any specific genre or just any
I
show
don't
that
give
I've
a
ever
fuck.
watched?
Your TV shows. Your favorite TV shows. This is about you. It's a question about you.
Okay, favorite TV shows, 5 to 1. Prison Break.
Great show.
Love Prison Break.
Okay.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's up there. That's a good one.
Next up is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Really? That's your number 3?
Buffy breaks top 3.
Wow. Okay.
Absolutely.
How controversial.
Supernatural.
I still haven't seen that.
It's
I feel like I should watch that.
It's so fucking good. You'll like it. And the number 1 for me, and this is controversial. And
if you say Breaking Bad, I swear to fuck.
you know what?
Or Friends.
I never.
Friends is a horrible
I
TV
never
show.
liked Breaking Bad.
See,
I got burned out of it after like 2 episodes.
I
I was like, oh, I get it. No, you're gonna.
I started watching Breaking Bad,
Mhm.
and I got to, I think, season 4, when the plane crashes.
In Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
A plane crashes.
Yes.
I didn't even get that far, bud.
Anyway, so a plane crashes, and then after that, I kind
Was
of
it the
lost
first or the second tower?
I think it was the second tower.
Yeah, I never watched Breaking Bad, so I don't know. I have no point of reference.
There was video footage, so it was the second tower.
God damn it.
Okay, what's your number
unpopular
1?
opinion? And I'm gonna get shit for this. I already know it. It's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's your number 1 TV show of all time.
That's my number 1 TV show of all
Dumb
time.
fuck.
Yeah,
All right.
but just hear me out. First of all,
Okay.
not the American Mighty Morphin, the original Super Sentai, but the Japanese Super Sentai is so fucking good. Because they'll just stab a dude in the chest mid-episode and be like, "Yeah, this guy's dead now. We're gonna have to replace him." It's so good.
God damn.
It's not like a kid's show like they market it here. It's like a young adult show.
Gotcha.
So, shout out fucking Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and anything in that genre.
Okay. So mine,
Nobody
my
asked.
top 5.
Oh, hey guys. What are your top 5?
Number 5, I'm gonna go with Game of Thrones.
That's fair. That makes
In
sense.
my top 5, love Game of Thrones.
Yeah. The last season, we all know, we get it.
4, How I Met Your Mother.
Still have not seen all of it.
Amazing.
I've heard. I
Yeah.
like what I've seen.
Friends, go fuck yourself. It's
Yeah, get out here.
horrible show. Horrible fucking show. 3, I'm gonna go with. Trying to think of just like a
I know which one for you.
My top 3.
You're an iCarly kind of guy.
No. Avatar: The Last Airbender is in my top 3. I just can't decide where it would go. I'm gonna put Avatar: The Last Airbender at 3.
Okay.
2, You.
Well, thanks.
Great
man.
show.
Oh.
Great show.
Got
If you haven't seen You, it's amazing.
If I wanted to see a narcissistic white guy ruin his relationships, listen, I got a front row seat to it with our mutual friend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can tell why I'm a little
He's
pissed off by it.
He's a POS.
Yeah,
man.
he's special.
All right, number 1. What would my number 1 be? All-time favorite show. Vampire Diaries.
Really?
Yep. Easy. I love Vampire Diaries.
Okay. So if you like Vampire Diaries, you're going to like Supernatural.
See, that's what people said. I just haven't actually taken the time to
When
sit
I
down
first
and
watched Supernatural, they were already on like season 9 when I started it. I binge watched 8 seasons in 2 weeks.
Okay, so that's what I did with Game of Thrones. I didn't watch a lick of it, and then they're like, "Oh, the final season comes out this year." I'm like,
Guess I got to catch up.
"Okay."
Yeah.
So literally, I took a week off work. I didn't go to because I was in college at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't go
You
to.
took PTO. You're like, listen, boss, I gotta do this.
Yeah, I took time off. I didn't go to college. I didn't go to my classes,
Yeah.
and I literally just stayed home, ate frozen pizzas, and
And just binge the shit out of
binged
it.
Game of Thrones.
It's Supernatural for me did that. Episode 1 hooked.
Vampire Diaries did that.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode and I was hooked.
It was just game over from there.
And
You'll like
it took me a minute. There's a lot of episodes and they're very long, but
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries is definitely worth it.
How long are they? They're like 45 minutes long, right?
I think that like 45 to an hour, but there's like 100 some.
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right. Supernatural, they're 45 to an hour. So if you ever want to binge watch them, I'll rewatch the show. I've watched it through like 3 times already. It's that good.
It's for Supernatural, right? That's on Netflix.
Yeah. It fucking better be. I will say the last season, not my favorite. It was during COVID, and they had to scrap a lot of the original ideas that they had for how to end it because of restrictions for travel and filming. So they did what they could.
Well, spoiler alert, when one of the particular, I can't really say it's a spoiler because I'm not going to name names, but one of the main actors of Vampire Diaries decided she wanted to leave the show.
No shit.
She was like the main character, and she's just like,
out?
I'm going to leave the show. I think it's holding me back, and I want to go do movies. And
did she make any movies afterwards?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, probably not.
But she came back for the very, very last episode.
Oh, she made her cameo appearance on her last one. Okay. Love that for them. Well, with that, hola, buenas tardes. This is Jonathan Perez. No, I'm going to redo that. Hola, buenas tardes. Representative Latinos Against Spooky Shit. I fucked up my own intro earlier, and I had to redo it. Jonathan, over here with my phenomenal, fantastic co-host.
I hope you don't cut that out, Kellen. I hope you leave that in.
I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave my fuck up.
Yeah, I'm Kellen.
And we are the spooky guy. Or whatever my fucking sound. I don't know. We're going to have a theme song eventually, or music to designate to the narrator.
I think I'll have mine, because I think what we're going to be doing, guys, is we're 2 separate narrators. We go into it blind. So I learn, he learns when either is narrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know diddly shit about most of the topics that Kellen ends up talking about. So I go in completely knowing nothing. And likewise, you're not very keen on a lot of the supernatural stuff that I go in on.
Dude, I love Ghost Adventures, though.
Which is funny. It's funny for somebody who likes Ghost Adventures. This episode, by the way, is going to be about ghosts. This is going to be a spooky one. So I did a serial killer one with the Mataviejitas. This one's going to be more on the supernatural side of things.
I don't think that one will be released quite yet when we release this.
Oh, no, that's right.
Yeah.
My bad.
But
whatever.
Foreshadow.
But yeah, so this one's going to be a little bit more paranormal-ish. And it's going to revolve around the Drish House in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now, before we get into that, God damn it. Before we get into that, I have a question for you.
Oh, for me?
So we are changing things up for this episode a little bit.
Yeah.
What are your beliefs surrounding the supernatural? Do you believe in the supernatural?
Yeah, I believe in ghosts.
Okay.
I saw my dad's ghost once.
Oh. For those that don't know,
my dad died back in 2009 in a horrible accident. He drowned, so... Yeah.
So Kellen doesn't drink water anymore because of that.
I avoid water completely.
All water.
Yeah.
Hadn't showered since 2019.
I don't bathe.
He just rolls around in sawdust like a fucking chinchilla.
So he passed away in 2009. Horrible accident. A few years, I think it was like 2011 though. My friend and I were driving on the back roads around where he had died, and
it's crazy.
Yeah, it was super foggy night, super scary. It was actually on his birthday, October 30th.
Oh wow!
So of all, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I do remember.
What a son you are.
I do remember his cell phone number though.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried calling it?
I have, and the person texted me and told me to stop calling.
Oh no! Imagine it's your dad's spirit, but you're like, "Fucker, leave me alone, dude. I'm trying to rest.
I'm trying to sleep, man.
I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to get that eternal good."
Yes. So I do believe. Okay. I believe in ghosts. I think I've mentioned to you I had shadow people for a while.
You've briefly covered the shadow people.
So they started showing up when I was in, I'd say like 2nd or 3rd grade.
Okay. Now,
at first, because there was a peeping Tom around the neighborhood. So at first, that's what I had thought it was, because it was.
You thought it's just the pervert down the street.
I just thought it was someone like peeking through my window or whatever. So I was like,
and then you remembered, I'm on the 3rd floor.
I was actually in the basement, but so anyway, and it from then until I graduated basic training, it was, or not graduated, when I joined the Army and went to basic training is when I never saw them again. But all the way up until that point, even like in high school and stuff, they would like, they just like stand in my doorway, and they were two perfectly pure black figures.
Whoa.
They never did anything. They never did anything nefarious. Most of the time they just stood there.
Nefarious. You brought out the multisyllabic words. Okay.
So
they weren't malicious.
No, they weren't malicious of any kind.
Did they interact with you at all, or were they always just at a distance? What's the closest they got to you?
Chills.
Yeah, right? And were you afraid of them because of their presence,
no,
or because they were black?
They had a very weird calm... No, they had a very weird, like, calming aura.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt calm when they were around. I felt safe. They have the weird calmness to them. The only reaction I ever got, one waved.
Really?
I kind of put my hand up, and it put its hand up back and kind of just...
Did you happen to be standing in front of a light source when this happened? Because, Kellen, I think it was a shadow.
No, I was in my room. In my room that I was in at the time, because this took place when I was in high school. It didn't have windows, because it was like there was an entry into the basement. Like the basement had its own entrance.
You were in the basement?
Yeah.
Okay, Ed Kemper.
And they would just stand in the doorway. So like the light out there would be on, but my light would be completely off.
Oh,
and
so like
it was perfect silhouetted right there.
Oh, I wasn't sure if they were like standing in front of a backdrop. They'd
make no noise.
Did they have...
Closest they ever got to me, though, back to that question.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up one night and they were on either side of my bed, just staring at me.
So like within arm's reach.
Yeah. And again, I didn't feel fear.
Sure.
I felt very calm. Couldn't touch them.
There is somebody listening to this being like, dude, isn't that the kid we robbed and we broke into his room?
Yeah, right. No, but they
Crazy.
I had them from about second grade until my junior year.
Do you remember the first time you saw one?
Yes.
Okay.
We had just moved to my so we lived in a really tiny town outside of where I grew up.
Okay.
We moved into that town for the first house was first and second grade.
Okay.
And then in second grade, we moved to the house directly behind us. And that's when I started seeing them.
Gotcha.
And it started with in my doorway, by the window, by the bed. And they would just they'd pop up. No noises, no nothing. They just stand there.
They just existed.
Yeah, they just kind of existed.
Do you think it's a thing that was always there in that house and got attached to you? Or do you think that it's always been part of you?
I mean, maybe, because when my dad died, he was still living in that house because my parents had split.
Okay.
When I was in like 7th grade, and then my dad died a week before my freshman year of high school.
Oh shit.
So, yeah, they may have just followed me over.
Okay.
But yeah, so when I went to basic, I never saw them again. I saw them, my very first night it's called reception. So when you get off the plane, I got off the plane in St. Louis, they put us on a bus and they drive us to Fort Leonard Wood, and then you're in reception for about a week or so. I was there for 11 days, but that's where you get all your shots, you get all your paperwork done, and then you go to basic training. But so the first night of reception was the last time I ever saw them.
It's like they said goodbye to you.
Yeah, it's triggered my abandonment issue.
God damn it! You and your therapist being so, what happened to them? Yeah, the ghosts left me and just
my ghosts. They never told me their names or nothing. They just left. But yeah, it wasn't my dad. It wasn't anything like that. And then, complete side note, my mom's house is insanely haunted. So little backstory, I guess.
One here. Not here, but yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Hometown. So before my stepdad had bought that house, well, I guess he's my soon-to-be ex-stepdad. Oh, whatever.
At the time of this recording,
yeah,
we just go through your whole family history.
So before he bought that house, someone had died in the room that was above the room I used to sleep in.
Hard pass.
So at night you'd hear footsteps, like loud fucking footsteps all over the house. Doors would open, doors would close. Yeah, just stomping around and shit like that. But then you'd go up there and it'd be dead quiet. No one would be moving. Everyone's asleep. And you're like,
it's your stepdad fucking with you. He's just running down the hallway.
No. I wouldn't put it
I gotta get back in bed before he finds me.
So, yes.
Okay, so you do believe in the supernatural.
Yeah, I believe in aliens, supernatural, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, aliens, as of the time of this recording, have been confirmed to be in the ocean.
Have they, though?
I mean, a bunch of government officials said so, and I don't know how much I believe them
I think they're just trying to get us to stop talking about other things.
Probably.
Have you seen this picture of an alien?
It's just a Photoshop jellyfish.
It's someone's nutsack.
Didn't you do that?
Yeah.
With the eclipse?
In 2017, there was the eclipse, and I was in Fort Lauderdale, Missouri at the time, and the eclipse came almost directly over us. Like, we had like a 90% coverage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a friend of mine texted me and asked how the eclipse was. So I replied with a video, and in the video, I still have it. In the video, there's the sun, and then you see like
the actual sun.
It's the actual sun, and then my balls just like slowly being lowered over top of the sun.
It's just a silhouette of it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny. I remember you showed me and I was like, wait a minute.
It was comedy fucking gold at the time too.
So
because they're like, oh, how was the eclipse down there? You had full coverage. I'm like, boy, did I. Because I didn't actually take any pictures or anything of the actual eclipse. So
you did a very a 1-to-1 reenactment.
Yeah, I did. It was primetime comedy.
It's so good. I love that. No, so I believe in the supernatural as well. I've had a couple of my own encounters. Nothing like shadow people. Nothing where it's been reoccurring. It's been one-offs. And I've talked about them before on other podcasts and on some of my live streams. But a few of the memorable ones are a premonition of my death when we were 9 years old. We were in Seattle, Washington. And in Seattle, there's a lot of train tracks. And it was me, my aunt in the passenger seat, a family member of ours. I say family member, we're Mexican, so they could have been related, they could have not been related. We called them a cousin, but truth is, they probably were a neighbor. It's a whole fucking thing.
I grew up on the red. I get it. I grew up on the red.
Yeah. Hey, Ani, you know?
Yeah.
And then her kid. So we're in the back. It's a truck. We're in the back seat, and we're just playing, blah, 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 and we're bumper to bumper traffic, and I remember we have to go over the railroad, right? Because it goes through the middle of the street. But we go over the railroad. We're stuck on the railroad because of traffic. Guardrails come down. So we're now stuck on the railroad. Can't move it either way.
Fuck yeah. I see where this is going.
And we're freaking out. Lights start flashing.
I'm over here. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, I mean, hey, clearly this ended well because I'm fucking here. Like, you know, hey, spoiler alert, I live.
Spoiler alert.
We look down the train track, and like 200 yards away, there's a train barreling down at us. And seconds before what would be impact, me and this little girl are screaming our heads off, but we're back 30 feet behind the train tracks. We're crying. My aunt and the other lady are like, what are you guys crying about? We're like, don't get on the train tracks. Don't get on the train tracks. We're going to get stuck on the train tracks. You have to avoid the train tracks. We made enough of a scene that they pulled off right before we got to the train tracks. There was a little cutoff, and sure enough, the guardrails came down. Train came barreling through shortly after.
Blocked another car in.
Yeah, somebody else took the shot for us.
You final destination.
And my aunt was like, how'd you guys know that it was coming? And we're like, we don't know. We saw it. We saw it happen. We like got hit. Apparently there had been a malfunction, and the thing is supposed to like flash an alert to like clear the way
and then drop. Yeah,
and then drop. But it didn't. It dropped right as the train was coming around the corner, and we knew that it was happening, and we avoided it. And according to my aunt, we went from playing and laughing and doing, 9-year-old kid shit to like being quiet for like 4 minutes. And then we started freaking out.
Weird.
And so, premonition of our death. I've got...
Okay, side note.
Please.
Question. Would you rather...
3 inches soft, 2 inches hard.
It gets smaller. I can just foreshadow. I can see the disappointment on your ex-wife's face when it got smaller.
As it got harder?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very conflicting. Yeah, but weirdly enough, only happened with her.
Anyway.
Something about the emasculation, you know?
Would you rather know when you were going to die, but you could never prevent it?
I asked you the same fucking question the other day.
You did, yes. But would you rather never find out, but it could happen at any time?
That's hard, right? Because, like, if I know when it's going to happen, no matter what I do, I can't avoid it.
Well, that's destiny anyway, right? If you believe that...
everything's pre-written?
Yeah. Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that everything's pre-written. I believe that everything is a choice.
We write our own destiny.
I do believe that we write our own destiny. I believe that we...
That is an actual quote from
Jumanji.
Riley Reid.
Oh. I believe the philosopher Lana Rhoade said that.
The great philosopher of our time, the Gagger.
That's fucking. I don't think things are Now I've talked to a couple people about my circumstance with the train, and they're like, "Oh, you died," and I'm like, "What?" Like, "Oh yeah, no, you jumped into a different dimension. Your consciousness went to a different timeline where you didn't die, but in that timeline you did die."
Could you imagine if that's how it kept happening? Like your soul hops dimensions when you die?
Imagine.
Because I've had a lot of like close
Near
calls.
deaths.
Yeah. Where I didn't get hurt. Nothing happened to me. Probably shouldn't have ended that way.
Sure.
But
a lot of times you get lucky and you're like, there's no shot. Lucky.
Listen, I am probably the luckiest dude alive. 0 condoms, 1 kid.
Damn. That's crazy.
Thank God.
And the wildest part, the craziest part, all dudes.
Yeah. I have had sex with like 80 dudes, no children.
Oh, I'm batting 100.
You would say I have a better batting average than everybody.
Oh, that's so fucking funny. So I believe in the supernatural for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I cracked myself up.
No, we're funny. We're funny. We have a I can't find it anymore. I might have the old phone where it was, but we have the recording of a breathy voice on an audio recorder. My family used to own a restaurant, and the downstairs there used to be a lot of interconnecting tunnels underneath the city because they were used when
Seattle, right?
No, here.
Oh, here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Over at the
north.
Yep.
Yeah. Because when the railroad was being built, a lot of the Chinese immigrants and slave labor that was used during that time, they weren't really allowed above ground because racism and
Irish slaves, Chinese slaves.
Yeah,
you name it.
But so a lot of the underground tunnels were still intact, and one of the largest section of tunnels was underneath our restaurant, connecting across the street to another establishment. But we'd go down there and we're like, dude, this place is creepy. What if we recorded audio and we picked something up? We're like, there's no way, dude. And so we got an old tape recorder and we started asking questions like, is there anybody here? Are you friendly? Blah, blah, blah. And we went back up to listen to it. And while I was talking, in between my questions, you could hear, you know that old man?
Suck me.
Have you ever had bofa? But he's nuts. No, it sounded like, you know that old man, like 90-plus-year-old man, and the way that they
with like the weird,
the raspy like breathing. Yeah, it sounded like on deathbed type of breathing. It sounded like that, and it gave like a
you were just down there winded.
It's just me.
Yeah, we definitely picked something up.
Yeah, it was kind of guttural, and it gave we couldn't make out what it says. We think it said something along the lines of "you need to get out" or "you need to leave." We couldn't hear it very well because it was so gravelly.
I wish you still had that.
My grandpa might have the tape recorder because it was his tape recorder that we took. But at first we thought, you know what? It might have picked up noise from the upstairs bar because the door entrance was like right around the corner there. So I had my buddy go back upstairs. I was like, just stand at the doorway, stomp, yell, shout, slam the door a couple times. I'm going to record him and see if I can pick that up. If we can, then it might have been a voice that we just heard from upstairs. Homie was fucking hollering and stomping, doing all sorts of noise, and we couldn't hear fuck all with the tape recording. So, and we were deep down enough in the basement too, where I don't think that that's what it was. But yeah, so just a couple instances of some.
I do have one more. Yeah. So I was the closing manager at our local Target.
Okay.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
And I worked.
You have told me this one.
I worked Monday through Friday, like 2 to 10.
Sure.
So it was Saturday, and my boss called me, and he's like, "Hey, you locked up, right?" I'm like, "Well, I don't work Saturdays. What's up?" He's like, "Oh, the alarm's going off." I'm like, "Okay, that's weird."
Sounds like not my.
He's like, "I'm heading there now." I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll catch up. Let me know what happened." And so I go into work Monday, and he's like, "Yeah, come over here. Look at this." So we go over to the security cameras, and he breaks it down for me what happened. He's like, "Before we watch..."
He's giving you the play-by-play?
Yeah, he's like, "We had our overnight crew here, and they were in the baby section. Mind you, I'll fill you in with what is wrong with the baby section in a sec." So they were over in the baby section.
They don't sell any babies.
Yeah, they were stocking shit. Anyway. There's no audio in the security footage, but you see them jump and they look towards the front of the store and then they run. And you see them run and they get into the bathroom in the back and they like lock themselves in. That's where they called the cops.
Oh.
But then he's like, "Okay, you saw that, right?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, it looked like something really freaked them out."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, they said they heard a man scream, 'Get the fuck out.'" I'm like, "That's weird." I'm like, "Well, was there anybody in there?" He's like, "No. Would you like to see how the alarm went off?" I'm like, "Yeah." So, at the front of, they have the sliding doors.
Yep.
And have you ever had to push one open?
Yeah.
So they're like the emergency doors.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of
it's
strength.
A significant amount of force you have to use.
You need to shove it pretty hard. Yeah. That opened. And that's why the alarm went off. The door slowly opened.
Oh,
yes.
shit.
But it didn't slide. It opened like it was an emergency
push. It opened like they were pushed open. From the inside or the outside?
Inside. And if you watched very closely, you can see a man's face in the reflection of the glass as the door opens. Yep. Like, not even kidding. Now, back to the baby section thing. So I'd have to walk the store after I locked the doors before I walked my...
did your route and whatever.
I walked my employees out.
Yeah.
So all my night people would wait. I'd walk the store. And... never failed. Not every time, but quite a few times, I'd get to the baby section and I'd hear footsteps running away from me. And I'd be like, "Bitch, I thought we cleared the store." Because they all clear their own departments.
Sure.
And then I go double check once the doors are locked. So I'm like, "Hey guys, we got to re-clear the store. I heard footsteps over here." We re-clear it. We watch the cameras. There was nothing. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So the next time I brought one of my coworkers with me, same thing happened. So he's like, I'm like, "Okay, you heard that, right?" And because it was really loud, like heavy running footsteps.
Sure, because it's got the tile, so you can hear feet on that.
Yeah. So, yeah, baby section in Target. It's fun.
Also, can never find a baby for sale. It's like, why call it a baby section? Why call it baby oil if it's not made from,
actual babies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway. So I believe in the supernatural for sure. And I think that a lot of things can be attributed to like the dark energies that happen in a location, obviously. Hauntings happen because like a murder occurred or like just bad.
And there are cases where it's just an old house that made a noise.
Yeah, because it settles and it creaks and it's old. Sure.
Like there are other places that are legit fucking haunted.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Drish household doesn't seem to be an exception to that. One of the oldest, most historic houses in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We're going to follow the story of James Drish and his family as they built up his name, his fame, his reputation, and just everything that happened afterward.
Okay, so I know something really funny.
What's up?
we look behind the scenes, guys. We've recorded this episode before,
Yes.
but the last time we recorded, I was so fucking stoned. I don't remember any of it.
It's perfect,
Yeah.
which is great. And I didn't have as much detail as I had the second time around. So all in all,
So
and
we're back,
The reason we're recording
and we're
it,
sober.
we're stone cold sober. We're only re-recording it because fun fact, again, behind the scenes look. Check your mic settings, guys. I had something called safe mode, which means that if I got too loud, it would automatically lower my gain. So halfway through the episode, my volume just tanked and you could barely hear me. It became an issue, but we're here. We're loud. We're proud.
We had that issue with the Dyatlov Pass one too.
We also
we'll
have
have to we'll record. We will. Skina.
Mr. Worldwide.
T-Pain. Yeah, we'll record that one too.
But
anyway,
we'll get to that when we get to that. So James Drish, born 17. Yeah, Alabama's only 100 years old. Born 1797.
So
he was a architect, businessman, landowner, and
so did his dad probably fought in the Revolutionary War then. With his
parents, I
Drish
believe,
dick.
were immigrants from Denmark.
Okay, so was George Washington.
So matter of factly. And Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You guys will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but he was one of the pioneers of Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
That's cool.
He actually
Like a founding,
like one of the founding people who started up that town. So originally, it wasn't really a town, more of just a tiny little settlement, but it's super rich in resources. And so as it grew and expanded, the Drish family, him and his family were the physicians and doctors of the area.
How do you spell Drish?
Drish.
Okay.
Exactly how it sounds.
Yep. I was like,
I know there was like
it's a weird spelling.
no, just Drish.
Okay. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, super ambitious and notable family. He had a wife that passed away, so he was a widower. He was a widower, and he remarried. But we're going to talk about his family life here in a little bit. He ended up building what became known as the Drish House. He wanted it to be like the centerpiece of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He wanted people to know, like, I'm him. Mm-hmm. I am that guy.
And that's the one we posted that picture of, right?
That's the house that we posted.
So it's a beautiful house.
Beautiful. It was built in the Greek Revival style, which was very common back in the day. That's why the White House got those big pillars.
Mm-hmm. Also beautiful.
America for forsaken pies with amber.
This is part of the citizenship test.
Yeah, and I'm not taking it. So
sing it. Could you imagine? I've never had to take it, but I'd assume you have to be like,
you have to.
I know the Pledge of Allegiance.
You have to know how many Senate seats, Congress seats. You have to know the name of at least 20 members of both. You have to know some of the amendments. You have to know the Bill of Rights. Yeah, you have to know a lot of things for that kind of stuff. So, anywho, so we're gonna deep dive, not really deep dive, but we're gonna take a dive into his life, because James was all about building success. He was obsessed with making a name for himself and making sure that people knew who he was.
Yeah.
And that obsession led to a lot of control in his marriage, in his family. His relationship with both his wife and his daughter were very strained, but he had meticulous details even about his funeral arrangements and how he wanted to be buried.
Huh.
Like to a T.
Okay, so when you die, do you want to be buried? Do you want to be
When I die, I want an open casket, and I want everybody to go to my funeral. I want them to open the casket to reveal my body. No body. Cue the lights. Lights go off. I'm now attached to a ceiling fan with a basketball taped to my hand, and I want the Looney Tunes Space Jam theme song to start playing.
Everybody
and I just want to spin around.
Okay. I was expecting a Weekend at Bernie's scenario for a second there, but that's almost better. Have you ever seen Weekend at Bernie's?
Long time ago.
It's funny, dude.
But when he dies and they got to pretend that he's not dead, right?
Yeah. They like puppet him around.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I When I die, I kind of don't care what happens to me. Honestly, at that point, I'm dead.
I want my ashes spread at...
Oh, so you want to be cremated?
Yes.
So you want to go to hell?
I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes spread at my cabin in Wyoming. My family cabin in Wyoming.
I'm going to spread your ashes on the floor and then vacuum you. This motherfucker wasn't specific enough.
Do a little bit just for the bit, but let the rest of it be spread.
Fine.
I want a little bit spread.
Never let it be said that I don't care about you.
I want a little bit spread where it's my favorite camping spot. My dad used to take us there when we were kids, and then I want the rest at the cabin. That's what I want.
I'm going to keep a little bit of you in a little, like, jar, like a little flask, and every time I feel sad, I'm going to do a little bump of you.
Snort it.
I'm just going to take be like, this is what Kellen would want. This is...
What would Kellen have wanted?
Oh, fuck, there was a bone fragment in that. Nose bleeding? Yeah, it's the bone fragment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So despite his outward success, homie was not having it. The building, the house took 2 years to build. So they started building it in 19. I'm so not used to dealing with the 1800s. 1835, finished building in 1837. So it took 2 years. In that meantime,
so he's in his like 40s.
So he is in his, he's 40 by the time of it being completed.
Okay.
And again, notable household name. He actually served as one of the representatives. I think he was a senator of Alabama. Like, he made it up there. He was big.
Huh.
But that's kind of when trouble started brewing, because he wanted everything to be so perfect, and he wanted to have this outward appearance of like, there's nothing wrong in my family and in my life, that he started controlling his daughter, for example. Foreshadow. Lucy, like, strict regime. Couldn't see certain people, couldn't talk to certain people. She actually wanted to marry a certain individual from their city. Dad was like, absolutely the fuck not. Like,
really? Oh, so he's just a controlling dad.
Yeah, he's like, he doesn't come from a prominent family. He, like, doesn't have a title or anything. Like, absolutely not. You're not allowed to see him anymore. Completely barred it, which even put more strain on their relationship.
That's messed up.
Though the rooms in his house were all themed and were all meticulously detailed as far as like the engravings go.
That's cool.
And which is kind of neat, because but it's also kind of a fucking pain in the ass if you think about it. Like, hey, I want to build this house, but every single room is different. Every single room has got to be themed. Like, his den was completely different than the dining area. Everything was just a fucking nightmare. But he had a lot of slave labor to do it, and there were a lot of skilled craftsmen that he used. So,
oh yeah, because that's
it's the
it's before.
It was before the emancipation. But
there was a war about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think it was what was it? Mexican-American War?
Yeah, that's it.
Like that?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Started in 1861. In 65.
Historically speaking, his wife not only helped him serve as the local doctor, but she gave up like all her life's aspirations to better fit his narrative. Like, she was an exceptionally skilled pianist.
And this was his wife?
This was his wife. This was his second wife.
What happened to the first wife?
She died of an illness. So not much is known about Anne. Anne was the first wife. Sarah was the second one. And Sarah, skilled pianist, could have made it like big, like notably. Yeah. But he's like, absolutely not. You're gonna quit doing that, and you're gonna work with me, and you're gonna be my stay-at-home wife, essentially, and you're gonna do everything that I tell you to do. So she gave up everything to take care of the household, to make sure that everything was planned properly, to make sure that everything was to his liking, or else, God forbid, James Drish wasn't happy with how things resulted. So a lot of strain was put on everybody, emotionally, physically. By the end of his life, James and his daughter were practically not on speaking terms, which is where everything kind of lands. He ends up losing a lot of it. And by a lot of it, I mean practically all of it. The Emancipation Proclamation, slave force became freemen. He no longer had his workforce. His plantation, which was thousands of acres, is all of a sudden in ruins. He's in a financial spiral. He starts gambling. He starts drinking. It's bad.
A tiff, if you will.
A bit of a tiff. And this is where the horrors and the drama of the Drish household start.
The whores?
Horrors.
This is when the whores show
This is when the whores show up and they start doing blackjack. So he dies 1860. Falls from the staircase of the Drish household tower. So you saw the picture there.
Yeah.
That center place, that's got a giant staircase.
Can we go there?
I would love to go there.
Like, is it? It's
I don't know if I'm allowed to go in Alabama, though.
Why?
They don't take kindly to my kind around there.
They don't like my
They
kind
don't
of
like my kind around there.
Listen here, boy.
I would love to go. It's actually a historic landmark now.
That's cool.
So
I'd like to do a tour. I want to see the staircase you fell off of.
Be like, hey, take a picture of me. You're laying on the floor at the bottom of the staircase.
Go see.
So he falls.
Yeah.
And there's speculation as to why he fell.
Usually gravity.
So gravity was the main factor. There's this little thing called gravitas. So some people say that he was drinking due to his alcohol addiction, plus his gambling, plus him just being, lost all his money, and that he slipped and fell.
Okay.
Some people say that one of his family members,
Juan.
a certain one of his family members, a certain wife or daughter may have pushed him. Sick of his control. He's 70.
He had one wife and one daughter. A certain
one or the other. Or some people think that maybe malevolent forces pushed him. Who knows? But he fell and he dies. At this point, Sarah, his wife, despite how much of an asshole he was during life, she is stricken with grief. This was the love of her life.
I bet. Sorry, boring me a little. I got to yawn.
No, that's fine. I'm used to it. Yeah, I'm just super attentive to your stories, and fuck me, right?
No, I was up late, man.
I know,
I was up late working on that Ed Kemper outline, and
Which you did great. I'm so proud of you. Kissy, kissy.
thanks.
You did so good. You want a treat?
Do I want a treat?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I want a treat.
Yeah, you do.
Zip.
So he dies. His wife, stricken with grief, and she's like, we are following this man's orders to a T for his funeral. That's the least we can do. We're going to make sure that he gets his funeral. He had specifically 16 candles that he had made for his funeral that he wanted lit for his ceremony and everything.
Little off.
They have the candles. She's still so upset and so grief-stricken that she keeps the candles. And she's like, I want to be buried with these same candles. When I die, I want these candles to be, I want the exact same ritual that he had. I want the exact same speech and everything. Like, everything has to be followed.
That's beautiful.
To the same, which is kind of beautiful in a way. So
how romantic.
So she survived him by 17 years. And she finally succumbs to an illness.
Well, I feel like if you lived in those times, you either died of an illness. Yeah. At that time, Native Americans, illness, or the Civil War. Yeah. You sneeze and they're like,
you cough once, everybody's like, oh no.
Guy.
Oh, like, did you hear James? He had a sniffle. Game over.
I don't know how long he's gonna last.
I don't know. Dude. Hey, I heard Sarah stubbed her toe. Like, she's a goner.
Humans were as bad as horses are today.
You just gotta put them down.
Yeah. Horses lay down too long, they die.
Yeah.
Eat the wrong food, they die.
Step in a hole, die.
Instant death.
Instantly. Like, oh, James has got a hangnail. Might as well just shoot him now. Fucking put him out of his misery. But so Sarah wants the same funeral arrangements. The day of her funeral comes around. They can't find her candles.
What?
They can't find the candles. She spent 17 fucking years guarding these candles. Day of her funeral, gone. Can't find them.
You think someone snatched them?
James didn't really make a lot of friends. James made a lot of enemies. So I couldn't find anything about what they think happened in the candles. They just weren't found. I do think that somebody was like, you know what? Fuck this family. Fuck these guys.
I could see the daughter doing it.
The daughter or some of the people that were still working for them.
Did he have any other kids?
I believe he had one other child that didn't live long.
Oh, okay.
I think he died early. But as far as I know, Lucy was the surviving daughter.
I thought Lucy was the wife.
No, Sarah's the wife.
Oh, Sarah. My bad.
No, that's fine. because Anne was the first wife. She passed to illness.
And then Sarah.
He remarried Sarah, who she also was a widow. Her husband died. And that, hey, listen, I'm saying, circumstantially speaking, 2 widowers these days? No, but yeah, they passed. But no, can't find her candles. So people are freaking out. Funeral goes through anyways, and that's that, right? Except that's the marking of the beginning of all the spooky shit in this place. The next day after Sarah's funeral, mind you, they weren't able to give her the funeral that she wanted. The next day, one of the locals called the fire brigade, or went to the fire brigade and reported that there was a fire at the Drish House. They're like, hey, the place is burning. Like, it is on fire. You guys got to get out there. So fire brigade's like, oh shit, yeah, we got to go out there. They go, no fire. No sign of a fire. No hint of a fire.
Was it just a prank?
No, this person was like legitimately like, there's a fire.
Huh.
And when they got there, absolutely nothing. This was literally 24 hours after. But it wasn't just him that reported it. It was neighbors from the surrounding areas that were like, hey, we see smoke. Like, we see flames. Like, this place is on fire. You guys got to get out here.
Crazy.
But firefighters showed up. Nothing wrong. The house was just dark, quiet. No flames whatsoever. So a lot of people believe that this phantom fire was Sarah's spirit coming back and trying to look for the candles to honor James's memory. Then there's other things. Again, Sarah was a known pianist. In the months and the years that followed her death, strange sounds began to be reported from the locals, but particularly was the haunting sound of piano music coming from the house. And it's been abandoned. Nobody lived in it. Yeah. Even though the house went to Lucy, she didn't live in it. It'd been abandoned for a long time, but they could hear melancholy piano tunes late at night. And a lot of people think that it was Sarah coming back to play the piano when she couldn't.
There's a ghost town here in Montana that
there's a couple of them.
It's been reported the same thing. Like, they can hear piano from like the tavern.
I was gonna say, wasn't it like an old western town in the mountains?
Yeah, I think it's Bannock. It was in Bannock. Well, there's Garnet. Yeah. There's Bannock and Virginia City, but Bannock is the one I was thinking of.
Virginia City's not in Montana, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another one in Nevada.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one here in Montana.
I think you're wrong. We're gonna take a chance to Google it right now. Please wait.
Yeah, take a side note. Ghost towns.
Just Google Virginia City, Montana. It'll correct you if you're dumb, if you're wrong.
No, I'll just do ghost towns in Montana and it'll give me the list. Alder, Bannock, Big City, Boulder. Oh, hang on. That's...
What was that? Go ahead.
No, it was just a big list. Bannock, Martinsville, Virginia City. Yep, right here. Virginia City, Montana.
Huh. Well, never mind. I'm the asshole.
Fuck you. There's a lot. Oh,
I'm sure. We're going to go to
in
them.
Montana.
We're going to go investigate these places.
That'd be cool.
So
I like Bannock.
So the piano music begins.
Yep.
And that's been reported for fucking ever. Then in the early 1900s, and the fact that I have to say early 1900s makes me feel gross, because it should just be, because that means there's the late 1900s. We were born in the late 1900s. That fucks with me hard. They started reporting full apparitions of James Drish in the house and being able to see him walking. And people speculate that it's his restless spirit still obsessed with his legacy and controlling nature that has not found peace. Weird. Which, I mean, I get it. At that point in time, like...
This sounds like if our mutual friend ever passed away.
He would just be climbing trees.
Yeah, because he has that, like... He has issues with, like, control issues.
Yeah.
So I could see him being like that, too.
It's crazy. Now, here's my question for you.
Got it.
Do you think that somebody who passes away, if their spirit comes back, is that an embodiment of them? Or is that an echo of who they were coming back? Or is that them in full?
It's them.
You think it's them?
Yeah. I think it's them and they're lost.
Okay.
In purgatory. Or just kind of waiting. But I think I've told you before, like, if reincarnation was the thing, like my whole reincarnation. So
that's true. I think that I don't know if it's the person so much as it's
like an echo of their energy.
Yeah, because like it can't be the person, obviously, because they're dead, right? But it
Their soul.
if you believe in souls.
Do you not believe in souls?
I don't know what I believe in. I'm a man of faith, but I'm not a man of religion. Like
Well, I'm a realist. If I can see it, if I can feel it, it's there.
But you don't. Well, okay, but then that begs the question. This is going to get. Oh, hold on, folks, because this is going to get. You can't see God, but you believe in him.
I believe in God. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I believe in aliens. I've never seen one.
I'm sitting right here. I exist, and you will not deny my rights.
My right to be an illegal alien.
So I'm not an illegal alien anymore. So there's been some big ol' investigations. And the first one happened in 1995. Now we're in the 1990s.
Okay. Hey, this is the year I was born.
Hey,
Hey,
you're the embodiment of the ghost. So paranormal investigators first began to document strange occurrences at the Drish House in 1995. They used, at the time, advanced equipment. They captured a variety of phenomena, including EVP phenomena. For people who don't know EVP, electronic voice phenomena. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence was a very clear voice that states, "I am James." This EVP was captured during an investigation in the main hallway, where they say that James' spirit is the most active and is seen wandering back and forth.
Was it by our boy Zach Bagans?
In 95? I don't think so.
You never fucking know. He
Zach
could have been
Bagans
out
is
there
ghost.
with his black shirt and his tight old jeans with his douchey hair and like, "Hey, ghost, if you're here, fucking say something."
Why'd you turn him into the Fonz?
Hey. I don't know. In the 90s, I feel like everyone was the Fonz.
That's true. Was the Fonz even popular in the 90s? Or I feel like that was the 80s.
I don't know.
I wasn't about born then. But, and much like you, they had shadow figures as well in the household. That, along with the orbs of light that they could see, that's what truly made people go, "Oh,
the orbs are the creepy part. I've seen one orb ever.
In person or in a video?
And in person, I was cleaning a Airbnb.
Was this recent?
Within the last few years.
No shit.
Yeah, so I was in one room. My wife was in the other. We were cleaning this Airbnb, and I was vacuuming by a bed. And this orb, probably the size of my fist, came out from under the bed and right up into my face. And I dropped the vacuum.
Did you run?
Yeah, well, I had
bitch, military training.
I had probably some of them, like, just dread, pure dread is what I felt. Yeah, it was very weird because it looked like a big ball of light.
Yeah.
But I was ice cold. I saw my breath, and it was just I felt pure hatred and dread, and I just took off running, and I went and I went to the bathroom where my wife was, and I closed the door. And she's like, "What?" And she said I was pale, and my eyes were really wide open.
Well, you're already pasty.
And I couldn't even. Well, not at the time.
No.
I work nights now.
I've known you a few years. You've always been pasty.
But it's not Irish. The Irish skin.
Yeah, it's not your fault. You're melaninless.
So, yeah, and I.
Do you remember the house?
Ended up spitting it out and telling her. Kinda. It was out in the woods. I couldn't actually get you out there.
Motherfucker! I don't want to go out there.
My wife.
I'm just wondering, so we could like search up the address and see if like anything happened in that household before.
My wife might.
Okay, we'll have to talk to her later.
Yeah, but yeah. So went into the bathroom and kind of told her what happened, and then we ended up just like not finishing that house.
Oh, really?
I had to go back and get the vacuum. I dropped it. I just left it running and everything. So, but yeah, like, I mean, you've known me a while. I've had encounters with bears. I've had encounters with through work with some really sketchy individuals. But man, that just freaked me out.
I can imagine the level of dread you might have felt at that time to experience that. I've never experienced an orb in real life though. I've seen them in videos.
Yeah, I've seen them in videos and
like videos that we've taken.
And up to that point, I was like, whatever, it's fake.
And then it happened. And you're like, I'm sorry.
Oh fuck,
that's crazy. Well, you said you saw your breath, which is another thing that they found in this household was cold spots, very particular cold spots. They did another investigation in the 2000s.
And this was summer when I cleaned that Airbnb.
Right.
So there's no reason I should have seen
no reason to see your breath, and especially inside.
Yeah.
But the biggest cold spot that they found was on the upper floor near their staircase, where James allegedly fell from. And that's where they picked up the most activity, biggest cold spots.
And they caught an EVP and it said, "The bitch pushed me."
She did it for the insurance money. And then they heard another one saying, "No, I didn't." They just start fighting.
The ghosts are fun.
The ghosts are fighting. But yeah, no, the Drish household, to this day, people still say it's haunted. Still very active. It's a public landmark, so you can visit it freely. But disembodied footsteps still occur regularly. The piano, still a consistent playing thing that you can hear.
Given the opportunity, would you spend the night there?
I would love to spend the night there and do an episode and record it.
Like, they lock you in, you can't leave.
Whoa, hold on. What about none of this locking in? I'll stay the night there, but I need free reign to leave. This locking in bullshit. Fuck you. I think, here's what we need. I think that this family, the Drish family, doesn't know what true familial drama is. I think me and my Mexican family need to go there, have a party, have it end in a fight, like a true Mexican, everybody shouting fight, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, we weren't that bad. Like, we were just a little crazy." Like,
But they get out of purgatory and go to heaven.
have them reconcile. Yeah. They'll be like, "Damn, these motherfuckers are fighting over nothing.
Our shit's not that bad.
Our shit's not that bad." Like, oh man, you know what? Maybe we were just a little. Maybe we overreacted a little bit.
He looks at Sarah, and I forgive you.
Oh. But yeah, that's the Drish household. It's very cut and clean. There's a lot of history about Tuscaloosa itself, which I think plays a part of it. Tuscaloosa, way back when in like the 1500s, used to be tribal territory, obviously, with Chief Tuscaloosa being the chief of that place. There was a war. A lot of people got killed. Alabama fever happened. That's where
Everyone moved there.
everybody moved there. I think it was over 2 million acres or something like that.
It's got to be some sort of a sex act as well.
Excuse me? Oh, the Alabama fever?
The Alabama fever.
Yeah, folks, that's all I got for you for the Drish household. Again, like, truly, I think the drama of these people will be like, you got to be perfect. I identify with that a lot.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody. I don't know if you had this in your household, maybe not. In a Mexican household, you have to be so perfect.
Yes, we had a poop knife. Actually, just kidding.
I'm sorry. What?
It's in case the poop's too big, then you cut it so it can flush.
So thanks for joining us on this final episode of the Spooky Guys.
We are now canceled because of a poop knife.
God, yeah, you got to be perfect, front facing. Like my grandmother, she's been sick as fuck, and she'll never let anybody know it. Like anybody outside of the family, like she'll still go to church, she'll cover her coughs, she'll pretend, and everybody asks her, "How you been?" "Oh, I've been great." And then at home, she's like, "Everything hurts. I'm dying." Because you can't let other people know that you have any sort of problems. It's the most toxic fucking thing. What the fuck was that?
That was the baby.
No, it was not your baby.
That was my baby.
There's no shot that was your baby. That sounded like it was from right down here. Oh, God. Oh.
That was not your baby.
No, listen, y'all heard me shit myself in real time during this episode. Okay, well, thanks, folks. Thanks for joining us. Again, keep your eye out for merch. Keep your eye out for new and exciting bonus episodes coming out with member subscriptions.
Okay, one more before you go. I do have one more.
I'm telling you.
One more.
3 soft. 2 hard.
No, we already went over the disappointment. We're gonna go top 5 movies before we head out.
Okay, in order?
Yeah, 5 to 1. Don't be a douche.
No,
Don't start with 1.
Okay, 5 to 1. Number 5. Okay, this one's gonna get me a lot of shit because nobody remembers it.
Rugrats Goes to Paris.
That orange ass VHS. No, you won't know this one. If you know it, then I'll be pleasantly surprised. Warriors of Virtue.
Let me see. Let me look at the cover.
I promise you, you're not gonna know it. It's in the same vein as the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like that it's...
I know of it. I have never watched it.
It is one of my...
I used to see it at Blockbuster all the time.
Favorite fucking... Oh my God, that long ago?
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies. Fourth is gonna be I just had it. Fuck. Rockadoodle.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Third, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Good movie.
Burt Reynolds just makes me.
Well, okay. The girl actress that played what's
Ducky,
her face?
he also did Ducky.
She died. Her dad killed her.
Shotgun, dude. It's fucking wild. And here's the sad part: when Burt Reynolds recorded his lines, she had already recorded hers, and she had
died. Yeah.
And so,
the day prior.
It's so heartbreaking. Was that 3?
That was your 4th.
No, it was Warriors of Virtue, Rockadoodle.
Oh yeah.
All Dogs Go to Heaven. The Labyrinth, David Bowie, 1980s. It's phenomenal.
Overrated.
You're wrong, and that's okay. I still love you.
I'm just saying.
No, that's all right. You're wrong.
That can be controversial, but I think it's overrated.
The number one movie that I can always watch and never get tired of. That's such a hard one, and I'm trying so hard to think about it. What movies did I used to have on DVD that I would watch all the time? You know what? I'm gonna go with a classic.
I thought you were gonna say Inception.
No.
You're like, eh.
So this is gonna be a weird cold cut. Jet Li's The One.
Really?
There's something about that movie that just it's a perfect action flick for me.
Okay.
I see. I had to throw something in there that wasn't animated.
I see you. For me, number 5 is gonna be Jurassic Park, the first one.
Okay, sure.
Number
classic
4. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
You're white. That tracks.
3. Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Again.
Great movie.
Yeah. Look at previous statement. Yep.
2. Stand by Me.
Ooh, I have to change one of my answers. Go on.
And number 1, Interstellar.
I've yet to finish Interstellar.
Great movie.
I got to the part where he comes back from the water planet onto the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And then my airplane ride landed, and I didn't get to finish the rest of it. I'm gonna take back Rockadoodle. I'm gonna shift everything down one.
Okay.
And my number one movie, and this man was in all respects a true comedic genius. What Dreams May Come, Robin Williams.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
It's his journey into hell to save his wife's soul, and he gets to see his children again, and it's such a heartwarming fucking movie.
I'm a huge movie buff, so I do have a lot of my favorite movies, but those are the 5 that I could think of that I could continuously watch and never
100%.
get sick of.
100%. These are the 5 that I could easily and gladly watch at any point in time.
I have quite a few others that could have easily made it top 5, like
Sure.
Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, just those stupid funny movies that have no nutritional value mentally at all.
Sure. I get it. Yeah.
The amount of quotes that come out of those movies are just
so good,
amazing.
Yeah.
So,
What Dreams May Come make me cry every single time. Anything with Robin Williams on it, like Good Will Hunting. Oh,
it's okay.
Wow.
It's no Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump was good.
Great.
Tom Hanks is phenomenal in everything he does too.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
Do we want to
give us reviews, give us comments, email us.
Yeah, the Spooky Guys podcast at gmail.com. We check our own stuff. You can also message us on Instagram. Keep an eye out again for merch. Keep an eye out for bonus episodes. Keep an eye out for memberships. Keep an eye out for spooky things. Let us know. But we'll talk to you later. Adios.
Bye.